we're back. Hey, hi, hello, it's Rebecca Marie and welcome to or back to my YouTube channel. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's been a long time. I'm so excited to be back, like filming, sitting down, planning and filming videos for you guys. Like this brings me joy and we're gonna bring it back. I just turned 23. My New Year's resolution as a 23-year-old is we're gonna become a YouTuber again. I'm back in my YouTuber era. So welcome to my video. This video is about Eurosummer tips and tricks because I did just get back from a 8-day trip to Paris and Rome, which was chef's kiss. So I'm just gonna talk you through like some of the things I learned, some of the things I wish I knew before we went, all of that jazz. Before we get into it, I do wanna tell you guys that there are other videos coming that I vlogged the whole of my America trip. I vlogged every single week of it. So that's like New York, Miami, LA, Austin. I had an amazing time. So I vlogged all of that. Editing it is in the works. And I'm also gonna drop, which I'm not gonna promote, except for right now, I'm gonna drop a few videos from like my 21st. We made my 21st birthday cake. There's a clip from me going to Disney when I went to America last year. So I'm just gonna post a few random videos right now, just so that they're on the channel. Cause like, why not, right? So if you wanna check out those, which are more recent than the videos previously on this account, totally do that. If not, they're just there, they're just chilling. So let's get into Eurosummer chats. So the things I want to talk to you guys about for each location will be like the public transport, accommodation, pickpockets and things to be careful about, my hacks for making things easier, our favorite places in each location, just anything that I wish I knew before I went. So let's start with Paris. Up first, let's talk about public transport. So we took planes. We didn't do the trains because we had a short time period that we wanted to see these two places in. My friend Thea came over from New York to do this trip with me. So we wanted to use our time as best as we could. So we flew from Heathrow Airport. We drove there, park and ride for my car and just left it there. Then we took the plane to Paris and we had to get a train from the Paris airport into the Paris city center. And it was super straightforward. There are ticket machines in the airport. We literally just bought a ticket and got on the train. There were slight delays because of some construction or something, but I think that doesn't happen all the time. So we got in about an hour into the Paris city center and then we just swapped over to the metro and that's where I get 2 tickets for the metro. So we only took the metro as public transport in France. It's super easy to use. It is so incredibly clean. It is so clean and it felt so safe. But they have these ticket machines and you can buy like 3-day, 1-day, 5-day passes. I think we bought ours up to zone 3, which was perfect for us and the things that we wanted to see. Side note, ChatGPT. ChatGPT, so incredibly helpful. When we're standing at this machine, like trying to get tickets and I'm like, oh my God, what do I want to see? I asked ChatGPT, I'm like, these are the things I want to see. What zone should I be buying? And it's like, get to zone 3. So ChatGPT, lifesaver. I will talk more about this later, but that was the hack for public transport. I got a 3-day pass, amazing. Side note as well, do not put this in the back of your phone case. I did that and it stopped working because it's like the metal. I don't know, the phone, the magnet, it didn't work because I put it by my phone and I had to get it reprinted, which was just kind of inconvenient. So don't do that. But that's public transport. It was super, super easy in France. We really enjoyed the public transport in France. Okay, next, Paris accommodation. We stayed in La Marais, which was amazing. I had heard so many great things about it, that it's like a hotspot for thrifting, for like the queer community, like it's super safe, super fun, super trendy, lots of young people. This is what I had heard. The nightlife is great and fun. And so we managed to find an Airbnb in that area. It was such a great spot, like a 3-minute walk from the metro line, right next to an amazing boulangerie, which is like a bakery. I know I speak French now. I want to say that on Airbnb, sometimes it throws you off. Like when we were looking up places that we wanted, it was like, oh, this place is like £300 a night or whatever. And when you clicked on it, it would like drop the price down. So I just say if you use Airbnb, like don't just judge the prices you get on the map, like click on it and see if it gives you a deal. That kind of changed the game for us because it meant that we were able to get a usually really expensive accommodation, but for a really good price. Like I said, it was super near a metro, which I'd say is super important anywhere you stay because you do so much walking anyways. Like we took the metros most of the places in Paris and we were still hitting like 20,000 steps a day. Think about looking near a metro. That is another thing I used ChatGPT for as well, is I looked at the address of the Airbnbs and the areas that we were looking at staying, and I asked ChatGPT to pull up like the safetyness of that area and whether that metro is safe and stuff like that. Just because we're two young girls traveling alone, and I wanted to make sure that we were doing as much as we could to not put ourselves in dangerous situations whilst we were traveling. So it's another really good hack for using ChatGPT to make your trip easier. We did feel safer in Paris than we did in Rome. It might be because it was less busy than Rome, but we felt a lot safer. There wasn't really any times when we didn't feel safe, except when we were like alone in the dark. But it, yeah, felt really good. Let's talk about tourist attractions and like activity type things, sights to see. In Paris, we didn't wake up especially early to go to anything. We woke up at like 7, was out of the house by 8, but we weren't up before like the crack of dawn. We still managed to see everything amazingly. The weather was great for walking around. You do need to get tickets for the Louvre. When we tried to book them, the website was down, so we got them on the day, which was fine. We also spent about 4 hours in there, and we probably could have spent longer, but the food in the Louvre for sale, so expensive. So expensive. So if you go to the Louvre, pack a picnic, or just be mentally prepared that the sandwiches are gonna cost you bank. It was gonna cost me like 40 New Zealand dollars to get a sandwich, a drink, and a snack or something, which was just, I wasn't doing that. So we were super tired by the time we came out of the Louvre, and so hungry and ready to sit down and eat. Arc de Triomphe, free to look at. We didn't go up it. Stunning. Be careful when you cross the road. That isn't really a zebra crossing. That was annoying. You might get honked at by a French person. Eiffel Tower. I went to the very top level because I love tall buildings, and I would say it's worth it. Personally, I think it was so beautiful up there. Thea only went to the second level, was also beautiful there. There's more places to sit there. We did some journaling because we went up there on my birthday, which was stunning. I think we spent 2 hours like on the Eiffel Tower, which was just amazing. So I'd super recommend that. And for the like slight price difference to get to the very top, I would say do it. But I also just love tall buildings. So I don't know if you would love that too, but I loved it. We went to the Sacré-Cœur, and in the Montmartre district, there was this really cute bag shop that I got a recommendation from my friend. We went and Thea got a really, really cute ring. I didn't end up getting a bag there, but we got a really, really cute ring. So there's the recommendation. Let's pass it on to the next people. There you go. We really recommend La Muraille. Like, we loved it. So pretty. We literally, when we came out of the metro, when we arrived, both of us like gasped out loud at how beautiful it was. That might just be because it looks French, but maybe it was because it was La Muraille. We back up La Muraille. If you're not staying there, it is a great place to go out for dinner and go and explore. Like, we genuinely loved it. There's so many thrift stores. Chef's kiss is all I have to say about La Muraille. Like, I would go back there in a heartbeat. Okay, let's talk about the bathrooms in Paris. This was a huge culture shock because they make you pay to use the public bathrooms, which jump scare. They were like 150 to 3 euros. The people in there were kind of scary. And yeah, it was a culture shock. We had to do it a few times. Then I just want to like note that if you're having lunch in somewhere that has a bathroom, like, just use the bathroom before you leave, because you just don't want to have to pay 3 euros. In the tourist attractions, they were free, obviously, like the Louvre, because we paid to get in there. The Eiffel Tower has some free toilets, and it's free to get into the Eiffel Tower. So if you're around the Eiffel Tower, just walk in, like, go through the security and go to the bathroom, and you can leave without actually paying to go up the Eiffel Tower. You can just stand underneath the Eiffel Tower. But yeah, bathrooms were hard and they were expensive. So that's just, it wasn't like awful, we were fine, but it was a bit of a culture shock not having to pay for public toilets ever. That's just kind of crazy. The one thing I haven't touched on, food. Food in Paris was not great. The crepes, yummy. The pastries, yummy. Dinner, expensive and not really our taste. I don't know, that it might be we just aren't mature enough to handle French food, but not really our vibe, a lot of it. So we ended up getting a pizza one night, and what did we do on my birthday? I had leftovers on my birthday because we had yummy food all day. And then we did a picnic at the Seine, which we so recommend. We literally just went to the supermarket. We got some cheese. We did like a little makeshift charcuterie moment. Some cheese, a baguette, some hummus. It was vibes. It was such immaculate vibes. So we'd really recommend sitting at the Seine for dinner and just like not worrying about what you're gonna eat, because we were getting so stressed about it because we were like, oh my God, it's like expensive and we don't even want to eat this. What do we do? What do we do? But eating in Paris wasn't our main focus. Eating in Italy, on the other hand, we had to eat good food in Italy, right? It's pasta, pizza. So yeah, just don't get overwhelmed by the food. It's expensive for what it is. And sometimes it's better just to get something you know you're gonna enjoy, because yeah, I just wish I knew that before I went. And I was talking to one of my friends. I was like, I'm so stressed, like we don't know what to eat. And he was like, we had the same problem in Paris. So I just wanna pass that on, because that would have saved me a lot of stress if I knew that we should have just been eating like picnic food. Like we should have just been like eating whatever worked and not being like, oh, we're in France, we need to eat French food, because we don't like the French food. But we do like the crepes and we do like the pastries. We just didn't like the French dinners. Slay. That is Paris. That is all I have to say about Paris. I hope that's helpful. Okay, let's talk about Rome. I feel like there's more things to cover for Rome, because it was a little bit more difficult than Paris. Once again, we flew in from Paris into Rome, and we really committed to a travel day. I was unfortunately really sick. I was really unwell. So I had to sleep. I literally slept in the airport, on the plane, and then I had like a 12-hour sleep that night because I was like dead. Anyways, irrelevant, just in case you wanted to know. But we flew in to the airport, and then we planned to catch the train into the city center, and it was on strike. The train was on strike. And so I had to do some bus research, and I found a bus. It was called TerraVision, and it was only €6 per person to bus into the Rome Termini station. When we were in Paris, we spent about like 20 to 30 euros each just catching that train into the city. But so €6 to get in, crazy. And the buses come every like 15, 20 minutes. So we literally walked there and just jumped on, put your bags underneath the bus, got on. We're there in 45 minutes. It was amazing. So we actually ended up not even trying to train on the way back. We just caught the bus again because €6 each. Crazy. And I bought the tickets online at the website, but there are so many, and there's like little stands where you can buy the tickets like in the airport and then like out by the buses as well. So there's so many options, but it was just easier. Like whilst we were walking along, I just booked one. Then the next parts of the public transport. I have the tickets to show you guys. So the public transport was kind of confusing. If you want a ticket like this, you can buy this one inside the metro stations. And this is like a metro rechargeable card. And we got like 3 passes on it so we could use it. And I don't think we recharged them at all because we didn't really take the metro. But this can also be used on a bus. So you can fill this up at the metro station, but I saw people tapping it on the bus as well. I'll get to that in a second. So that's your metro card, you buy that in the metro station. This is a bus pass, and you can buy these in the tobacco shops, like the newsagent kind of things. And all of the shops that are like tobacco shops have a big sign outside of them with a T on it, like a big capital T, and there are so many of them. But that is where you get your bus tickets. So these ones can only be used on the bus. These can be used on the metro and the bus. This is easy. When you're on the metro, there's obviously the place you tap it. It was kind of confusing because there's like a slot for tickets, and then there was like a tappy thing. There's like a yellow circle on the metro like gates to get through into the metro. You tap it on the yellow circle. It took us a while to figure that out. You tap, it's like a tappy card, but it doesn't feel like a tappy card because it's made out of paper, but it's a tappy card. It's rechargeable. Once again, probably don't put it by your phone because it will stop working. Tappy card, okay? That's the metro, sorted. And you can use the same thing on a bus. So then if you're going to use this on the bus, you tap it on the machine on the bus. Tap it on the machine. It does not go inside the machine, you tap it. This is the tappy card. I'm trying to make this very clear because we struggled. You tap it. This one, on the other hand, this one goes inside the machine. So it's like this little square bus machine. It's got a tappy thing at the bottom for tapping and for tapping card, because I'm pretty sure you can just tap and go. We didn't do that. You can tap and go sometimes. Sometimes it didn't work for people. So you tap it at the bottom. You tap this one, or you tap your credit card on the bus at the bottom. But if you have a bus pass thing, you look at this arrow and you feed it into the top of the machine above the screen. You feed it in, okay? This one gets fed in, this one gets tapped. I hope that that's helpful. That would save me a lot of pain if we knew that. So sometimes the buses were so busy that you didn't actually have to tap it. So we actually traveled for really, really cost-effective amounts of money when we were in Rome. I personally really preferred to use the bus because we had heard so many bad things about the pickpocketing on the metros. So let's talk about pickpockets. When you go down to the metro, we got the tip that you should never stand in the middle of the train. Walk down to one of the very ends and wait for the train down there because there'll be less people around you. Apparently what the pickpockets do is they stand behind you, and then when the train comes and the big group of people have to rush forward into the train, they will push forward and kind of like bump into you, and that'll be when they're going in their pockets and going in your bag and stuff like that. So we would always walk down to the end. We actually didn't catch the metro very many times because I just didn't like it. I was like, we have a bus option and we can walk, and I would have rather like not put myself in a situation that, yeah, so we chose not to. But walk to the ends, stay down there. Make sure you don't have anything in your pockets, keep them on your person, and then recommend like a crossbody bag so you can have your bag right there, right next to you, or wear your backpack on the front of you and hug it on the train. We were literally told that by the people who worked there. Like I had on my back one time and he was like, hug it, so put it on your front. And then the other thing is, if you have a backpack, would really recommend making sure that it has, this was the one that I used for the trip, that it has 2 zips that you can put together. And I borrowed Thea's luggage lock and I literally locked my bag closed so that if anybody tried to, you know, pickpocket my bag, there's no way anyone was gonna be able to get in my bag. So I could wear it safely on my back without worrying that anyone was gonna get in. So crossbody bags or lock your backpack. We did really good to not lose anything whilst we were away. We didn't get pickpocketed. We were so aware. And I think that is the main thing that we noticed. It's like some people are like holding their phones out like on the metro or like have their bag open, or you can see that they have stuff in their pockets. And it's just like, by doing that, you're like asking for someone to come and grab it out of your pockets, right? Like you're like making yourself a walking target to avoid the pickpockets. Nothing in your pockets. Wear your backpacks on your front, lock your backpacks, wear crossbody bags. I'm very passionate about this. I don't want anybody to get pickpocketed. So yeah, that's the public transport. There were Lime scooters in both of the cities. We used the Lime scooters once in Rome because we woke up really early to get to the Trevi Fountain. It was like cheaper and it was gonna take less time than walking or busing. But I personally, the roads are a bit hectic, so I wouldn't be liming around on their roads in the middle of the day. It was just like a really early thing because there wasn't anybody really on the roads. Let's talk about accommodation locations. So we were staying about a 15-20 minute walk from the Rome Termini station. We were in Hotel Mosaic. It was like a hostel vibe. We had a private room for 2 and a shared bathroom with the other people on our floor. It was amazing. We had a fridge in our room, and then there was like a shared kitchen with like a microwave downstairs. They let us keep our bags there like after we checked out, before our flight in the evening. And the location was just amazing. Like it was right next to an amazing restaurant. It was right next to a tobacco shop so we could get the bus cards. It was a 5-minute walk from a bus stop to the Colosseum. It was a 6-minute walk from the bus stop to the other places, and a 9-minute walk from the metro station. So it was literally so central, so easy. And I think that's really the key to it. Like you don't want to spend loads on your accommodation because you're going to be out most of the time. But having it central so that you can just like pop back, have a nap, like whatever you need to do in that heat, being central, I just love. And making sure it's close to those public transport forms of transport as well. When we were looking for accommodation, we looked on Airbnb, we looked on hostels, and we looked on booking.com. And I made sure to check the location, like how far it was from all of the sites that we wanted to see, because I am so passionate about being central. Because you don't want to spend that extra time in the morning traveling like in from where you are. Like I want it on my doorstep. I wanted everything 20 minutes away. Beds weren't super comfy in either of our accommodations, but it didn't really bother us after the first night because we were so wiped from all the walking and all the sunshine that we both can't even remember like lying there waiting to fall asleep. Like we literally just had hit the pillow and we were out cold. So don't worry too much about comfort because you're gonna be tired. Okay, let's talk about like the sights and our favorite places in Rome. So in Rome, we did get up early. We got up so early because it was so hot by like midday. So we were getting up at like 5 a.m. to leave the house at 6. So we could get to the sites before everyone was up, which was amazing, and they were still busy. But it meant that we got some beautiful photos of the Trevi Fountain. We got to like wish without people standing, like there was loads of people still, but it wasn't like jam-packed mosh pit vibes. Like it was like very enjoyable. And we ended up passing by the Trevi Fountain literally every day on accident. But we passed by at the busier times, like a few hours later into the day, maybe like about midday. It was hectic. People were trying to get photos. Like it was a lot. So we got up so early so that we could experience everything like the best way possible. And then what we do is we would explore for like 4 hours, and then we would go back to the accommodation, like 4 to 6 hours, back to the accommodation, have a nap and have a rest outside of the peak sunlight for like 2-3 hours, and then we would head back out for dinner and more exploring, which is still when it was really hot, but it just meant that we missed that, like we went out in the peak heat for all of the peak heat. The different attractions are the Trevi Fountain. We went really early. We loved it. We went back every single day, but like not on purpose. There's a cute little pizza shop near it. Yeah. The Colosseum. We also went really early. That was our day 2 first activity. We went to the Piazza Venezia, but it was closed. So we just looked at it. Very pretty though. We didn't pay to go in the Colosseum. We just looked at the outside. We didn't want to go inside. We just walked around like all of the grounds and everything for free. Thea did Vatican City without me because I was dying and had to nap. That was when I was unwell. But she had a great time. She didn't pay for anything there. She literally just walked around and said it was like totally enough. And then it was so hot to wait in the lines. So I guess if you want to do that one, that'd be another good one to like wake up really early for. And then a lot of our time there was literally just walking around and exploring the streets. Like literally just checking things out, because I swear you would walk down, there's so many things to look at, that you'd walk down one street and you'd get to the end of it and you're like, how is this at the end of it? And there's this huge monument or like tower or podium or something, and it was just crazy. So walking around was amazing in Rome. Like there was always, it was like expect the unexpected. There was just so much cool stuff. It's also Italy, and so like a leather Italian handbag, like super recommend. Thea got one and I got one as well. I love my one. She's cream. She has like a strap. This isn't a bag haul, but I just had to show you, like it smells amazing. It was so beautiful. It says made in Italy on it. I would recommend getting a nice leather bag in Italy. The final thing that I really want to hype up is Trastevere. I want to say Trastevere, but when we said that to locals, they corrected me nearly every single time. It's like Trastevere. I'd recommend going there. I had heard so many amazing things and seen it on TikTok. People were like, this is the vibe. And I was like, that is the vibe. I want to go there. So we headed out for dinner to go to this one restaurant on the first night. But it was like, it was like a 25-minute wait and we were already really hungry. So we just ate somewhere else, like in the square. I'll put the place in because it literally was so good. It was so good. Best lasagna I've had in my life. Like, I'm gonna dream about that lasagna for years to come until I return and eat the lasagna again. But it's such a fun area. Once again, hip, thrift stores, touristy shops, so many yummy restaurants, a whole square with like people doing artworks and performances. Amazing. Like it was like what we described it as, it was the La Muraille of Rome. So we had like La Muraille in Paris, and then we had Trastevere in Rome, and such fun areas. So we went on that first night and we didn't get to explore it enough because we needed to go home sleep to like get back up for the Colosseum. So we went back the second night. We went back way earlier to explore and like look at all the shops, and we found like a record shop and a thrift shop and just like walked around the area and enjoyed it. Then we had dinner at the restaurant we wanted to go to like earlier, and it was banging. Not as good as the lasagna from the first day, but still amazing. And then we had gelato again, and it was just such an experience, so amazing, and I so recommend going there. Like, we loved it, and we will absolutely, if I went back to Rome, I would 100% go back again. I think that was where the best food was. Okay, let's talk about the Rome bathrooms. So unlike Paris, you did not have to pay for them as often. I think I only saw one public toilet that you had to pay for, which was in the train station, I'm pretty sure. But there were just less bathrooms in general. Like in France, there was always a sign for a toilet, pretty much every area that we were in. Whereas in Rome, they were a lot harder to come by. So we would just use the restaurants that we were in because we spent a lot more time sitting in restaurants and eating in Rome. So we just used the bathrooms in the places that we went to and we were fine. The last thing I want to talk about for Rome is food. So we heard a few tips and tricks about finding the best places, and we didn't go anywhere that had like the photos of the food on the outside. We didn't go anywhere where the waiters were like begging us to come in. They're like, beautiful ladies, eat here. No, if they want you that badly, like don't go there. Like you want the wait staff to like not be begging you to come in. We looked up reviews and we'd go to places that were like on the lower end of the price but had high star reviews. That worked really well for us. We went to gelato places where the gelato had started to be eaten. The gelato places where all the gelato looks perfect, why do they look like that? Nobody's eating there. It's obviously not a popular one. The gelato, we were only paying for the best gelatos we had. We paid €2.50 to €3 for a whole ice cream. There were places that were trying to charge like €6 for an ice cream. Why go there? The place that you don't need to pay that much to get a good gelato. We were paying about 10 to 14 euros per meal with loads of pasta. You don't need to pay much more than that to have an incredible meal. Yeah, I think those are the hacks we use. Not going to places where the waiters were jumping out at you. Not paying overpriced, especially if you eat in tourist areas. The pasta prices will go up to like 18 euros each. And we're like, we don't need to pay that because we've been paying 10 to 14. So if you're in an area where they're like 18 euro pastas, just like move slightly out of that touristy area and you'll find 10 to 14 and it will taste just as yummy, if not better, because it's not directly plonked in a tourist area. Yeah, I'm so excited and I hope that this helps someone. I know that this would have helped me if I watched this before I left, obviously, but it feels good to be back on YouTube. I'm so excited to be here. Please get ready for weekly videos. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on my other socials. And let me know what else you want to see because I want to do this for you guys as much as I want to do this for me and getting back into it. But I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for watching. I love you and see you next week for another video. Bye!